There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
You'd be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your mind. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
Plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
I've got to return some videotapes.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Joe.
And this is In the Veins.
And today we are doing From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes, for episode 11, which is a landmark from everything that I've read.
Big ol' 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it like if you last 11 episodes, then you're going to go the long haul or something like that?
I think it's that most don't make it to 11, but
Why would you not?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, you
Like
obviously...
I said before, like these conversations would be happening whether we had microphones and cameras on us or not. Like
I know. And
this is just how we talk.
yeah, it's a great excuse. I don't know. Hey, but it's 11, and 11's supposed to be a landmark. So
Great.
yeah,
Awesome
yay
sauce.
us. And
Hell's yeah. Here's
and you
to
can't. I
11
also don't think
more.
you can monetize on Spotify. Not that we are anywhere close to that until
Right.
you have 12 episodes.
Interesting.
So published episodes. So
Right.
yeah. Anyway, we're doing Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn, January 19th, 1996 release.
Yeah.
I looked this up. I want to get into looking this up. I believe it was somewhere in the early teens in the box office when it dropped. There's like a Toy Story, I think was out that. So it was up against some stiff competition. Still a budget of 19 million, gross 25.8, little over mil. So it was a success, not like a huge raging success, but a success nonetheless.
Well, success back then for movies like this were different too, because the 90s was a big indie thing, and Miramax was
yes,
less indie than some, but it was still where Tarantino grew up and Robert Rodriguez broke through in America, and so
Yeah.
I mean, if you made 1.5 times your budget, you're doing all right, as long as that budget also included the marketing and stuff.
Right. Which I don't know if they didn't make quite 1.5 times. I don't know how. That's the problem too. Is like I need to find a source for like home video.
Well,
stuff,
yeah, and that's
because
how
that would make a difference.
I think I saw this maybe in the theater, but I feel like this really was a rental, like big in the rental market.
Right.
Like it was flying off Blockbuster shelves.
Yeah. I mean, Rodriguez is good for that because his movies all have that kind of party tone to them. Almost like Michael Bay, but with a plot.
Yeah. I mean, I had to look up the definition because I used this word and Amber called me on it, but I called John Woo an action auteur. Okay. And I was using it correctly. It's just when called on it, I couldn't actually explain what it meant, but it really just means,
It means what you think it means.
From the definition I found, it's really somebody whose style you recognize. You see a thing and you're like,
okay,
oh, that's
like
that guy.
Like a recognizable, well-defined artistic style.
Yeah, so like a Tarantino movie, if you had never even heard of The Hateful Eight and you watched it, you'd be like, oh shit, that's a Tarantino movie. You know?
Right.
So,
I probably presume because there's lots of shots of women's feet.
Yeah, exactly.
And somebody talks very fast. And
a shot from inside the trunk of a car that shouldn't even exist. It's a cowboy movie.
Yeah. And somebody uses the N-word because it's a Tarantino film.
Yes, they do, though. I mean,
I'm not shitting on Tarantino. Some of my favorite movies.
Oh, he's my favorite. But
yeah.
But anyway, Robert Rodriguez.
This is directed by Robert Rodriguez. It is written by Tarantino with a story from Robert Kurtzman, who's an FX guy, an awesome FX guy. Robert Kurtzman's fantastic.
I think maybe he was going to direct it, but had other obligations.
Oh, that stinks. So for our cast, and there's a lot of great names in here that I want to get in here, both the actors and the characters. Harvey Keitel as Jacob Fuller, George Clooney as Seth Gecko, Juliet Lewis as Kate Fuller, Quentin Tarantino as Richard Richie Gecko, Salma Hayek as Santanico Pandemonium.
Yes.
Cheech Marin in 3 different roles.
Is it only 3?
Yeah, I know, right? He just keeps popping up. I'm surprised there's a couple of characters that I'm like, why didn't they just make that one Cheech Marin too? Like, I got why not? He's the border guard who stops him at the border, which is weird because that character doesn't have a name. He's the kind of barker / bouncer outside of the Titty Twister bar, whose name is Chet Pussy.
Well,
and he is Carlos at the end.
That does explain his barking.
I mean, you hear that you see the movie and then you hear the name Chet Pussy and you're like, I know exactly which character that is. We got Danny Trejo as the bartender, Razor Charlie. Tom Savini as Sex Machine.
Yeah.
I love it. Tom Savini's fantastic in it too. Fred Williamson, a blaxploitation legend, Fred Williamson as Frost. And a kind of good luck charm traded back and forth between Tarantino and Rodriguez. Michael Parks as, this time, Texas Ranger Earl McGraw.
Yeah. I mean, Tarantino said a bunch of times Michael Parks is one of his very favorite actors.
And he plays Earl McGraw, some kind of law enforcement in most Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez films.
Yeah. In fact, I think that, I might have to look it up, but I think that the character in Dusk Till Dawn, he's the same cop that shows up after the wedding massacre in Kill Bill. Because you see all the sunglasses on the dashboard of his car.
This is correct.
Yeah.
So this would take place then after Kill Bill.
Yeah. Well, after the massacre in Kill Bill.
Right. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. And he has, I always notice he has this very specific, little kind of acting, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not necessarily a negative, but he has this like very slow, gentle blink that he does.
Yeah. Like a cat.
Like a cat. And it's, that's exactly it. And it's very like intriguing. Like I think as like an actor, like it's a neat kind of like signature move of his. That's like, it pulls you in.
Well, he really sort of settles into the scene. You know,
he really
he's
does.
very comfortable in whatever.
And he just has a great voice. Like I can listen to him tell stories about his shitty day, like all fucking day. Like he's great.
You know, when he's playing in Kill Bill, he plays the Mexican guy too. He plays the cop and he plays the Mexican guy. That was supposed to be, I think, Ricardo Montalban, but dude couldn't was too good to show up for a table read. And so Michael Parks read both parts. And Tarantino was like, why the fuck am I paying Ricardo Montalban? And fired him. And just had Michael Parks do it.
So Kirk yells Khan. Khan yells, Michael Parks!
Yep.
Fantastic. And I know it's a small part of the movie that he's in, but my attention is drawn to him. He's fantastic. Anywho, let's get into the movie itself. So, in the opening, we get this sprawling Texas desert, and a lone Texas Ranger drives up to a liquor store in the middle of absolutely nothing, and walks in, and he talks to the shopkeep there, he has a name, crap in a hat. I should have made note of it, and I did not. John Hawkes plays Pete Bottoms. So he walks in and talks to the shopkeep Pete, and he's having, the Texas Ranger Earl is having a bad day. He started out, I believe, throwing up. It's this whole weird story about a woman who runs like a diner, and she lets her mentally handicapped son cook.
Do the cooking.
He shouldn't. And he got sick off it, and he's like, but he like forgives it because she's got enough to deal with it being saddled with that.
Yeah.
Which is a weird way to transition into like, oh yeah, there was also like a bank robbery and like 19 people died. Like, yeah, like a bunch of cops of various sorts, several civilians. Like it's the bank
and a hostage.
Several hostages. Like the bank that the Gecko brothers robbed is what he's talking about. And he's supposed to be on the lookout for the geckos. And after he kind of, he's like, I'm going to take that bottle of whiskey behind you because I'm going to need it because I'm getting loaded tonight because this is just too much. These people are animals. It's kind of his own little like No Country for Old Men type of situation going on. But he's
saying that they're coming right for us. Like, it should bring him right through here. You know, he's doing his little tough guy thing. Like,
it's like, I don't want to deal with this, but I'm going to have to deal with it, and it's going to suck. So he goes to the bathroom, and out pop Seth and Richie Gecko, and with their hostages, of course, and they're insisting, telling the shopkeeper, hey, be cool and get rid of this cop and stuff. And he's like, dude, like, the guy comes in and uses our bathroom like almost every day. Like, he would have been suspicious if I told him, like, no, you can't use our restroom. Like, what are you talking about? And like, Richie's a nut job, who immediately starts in with like, I should just go back there and shoot him in the head. We should just shoot everybody. And Seth is the level-headed one. As he describes it later, he's a professional thief.
Yeah.
Period. Like that, and Richie's
not a total fucking psycho.
Yeah, Richie's a full psycho.
Yeah,
like out of touch with reality nut job who gets off on killing.
Yeah,
and so Seth is trying to keep the situation under control and keep it calm. And he's telling the shop to just get rid of him as fast as you can. And he's like, I will try. There's very little I can do. He will talk. He will come. He will pay. He will do what he wants. But if I try to force him to do something, it's going to be suspicious. Yeah. And I think I've been doing a pretty good job. Yeah.
He tells him I should earn a fucking Oscar for that.
Yeah. And he's not freaking wrong in that situation, given how casual he is with him. He is doing a great job. So, the geckos and their hostages go and hide again. The Texas Ranger, Earl, comes back out to pay for the whiskey, and out of nowhere, Richie pops out and just shoots Earl in the back of the head. And he claims that the shopkeeper was mouthed, "Help us." Yeah, which he clearly did not. And the shopkeeper is almost more pissed to be accused by Richie Gecko of betraying them.
I love the whole thing with the shopkeeper because he is obviously scared, but more and more, he's just pissed because he is doing like a superhuman
He's doing what they told him to do.
Amount of work here.
Yeah.
Just to keep things the way they want it. And still.
They're not keeping up their end of the bargain because you just can't put a leash on
Richie just wants to kill everyone.
And Seth really needs to be rid of Richie. Richie is an albatross around his neck.
I mean, Richie is his only weakness.
Yes. So and things devolve. We bitch back and forth and stuff. Richie ends up shooting him in the shoulder. And the shopkeep falls down on the ground, and Seth is everybody's yelling, everybody's got their guns out, everybody's shooting. The shopkeep pulls a gun out from a safe that's behind the counter there, and he's shooting at them. He ends up shooting Richie right through the hand.
Yeah. I think they're two hostage. Like at that point, the hostages they had, I think, were just customers in the store, just like people they grabbed and pulled into the back of the.
And then
aisles.
they bolt.
Yeah, they book it. They're smart. They get out.
Yeah. And it turns into a crazy shootout. Seth tells Richie to shoot out the bottles behind the shopkeeper. And so Richie does that, and then Seth soaks a toilet paper roll in lighter fluid, lights it up, and tosses it back there, and the liquor all catches fire, and that guy burns to death.
Yeah, but he comes up shooting.
He does come up shooting. He does have one more moment of coming up shooting and shooting at them. Yes, he still manages to pop up.
There's a lot of, there's a lot of trademark Tarantino stuff here. Like in a minute, we're going to get the trunk shot, and he's going to, they're going to eat Big Kahuna Burger or whatever.
Of course.
But it's a very Robert Rodriguez thing to have that dude come across the counter and jump through the air shooting. Like it's a desperado move.
Right. Cribbed from John Woo.
Well, yeah. If it was John Woo, it'd be two pistols.
That's true.
Like in Desperado.
So the shopkeeper, they shoot him, he dies, burning and everything. The building starts to explode because it's apparently made of gasoline and old tires.
Yeah, but they're just walking away having a fight while it explodes.
Still arguing.
Because cool guys don't look at explosions, Joe.
That's right. And Richie is just bitching and moaning and my hand hurts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Seth is just like, you escalate everything unnecessarily. And it's just it's a raucous time. So they get in the car, we get to our credits, which are kind of retro and very short. And as they drive, we see like an X-ray of the trunk, and we see that they have the hostage in the trunk. We'll eventually find out that's a bank teller.
Yeah.
So they go to a motel. There's a very cute moment of just trying to check into the motel where Seth, George Clooney, is just banging on the bell for service. Eventually, he's picking up the bell and slamming it on the calendar. And a 1,000-year-old man comes out and is like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "What do you think, you mean old bastard? I want a room. Why else would I be here?" And he's like, "Oh, okay." It's very
Obviously.
funny. Yes.
The old guy forgot he worked at a hotel.
Yeah, like he's just unhappy to be there, as we should all be. So they move the hostage and the money into the room, and Seth starts talking, like discussing, the deal with Carlos, how they're going to split. They're essentially giving like 30% of their money to Carlos in order to gain Sanctuary and El Rey, Mexico.
Yeah.
And Richie argues like 30%'s too much, and you should try to argue him down and stuff. He's like, this is not the situation. This is what we are doing. It's set in stone. This is not a negotiation. And then he kind of lays down the law with the hostage and lets her know, like, hey, as long as you do what I say when I say, you're going to get out of this fine. Okay. If you do anything that I want you to, you're going to have to deal with, I'm going to have to shoot you. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. You don't want me to do that. So let's just all be cool. That is all he is asking anybody to do the entire
whole
movie. It's just fucking relax and just chill.
I mean, you gotta tolerate that I'm kidnapping you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
That has already happened. I'm
That's
not
not
happy
gonna
about it.
change.
You're not happy about it. Let's make the best of a
Yeah.
bad situation.
The one thing that might change is whether or not you keep breathing.
Exactly. Exactly. Seth leaves he has to call Carlos, get food, whatever. He leaves Richie in charge of the hostage, which anybody could have told you was a bad idea.
Yeah,
It's not going
it's
to
a
end
bad
well.
idea.
Because Richie is a nut job and a huge creep. He goes and like lays down on the bed and he's like, "Come and watch TV with me on the bed."
Oh, and his voice gets all soft and it's creepy.
Yeah, he has like a little boy quality to his voice. It's God
Makes
love
her take her
Tarantino
shoes off
to get on the bed.
To get on
God
the bed.
love
He doesn't take
Tarantino.
his shoes off to get on the bed.
God love Tarantino. He is a creepy guy. Baseline Tarantino is not the most comfortable person to be around. He's awesome. I love him. I love how he talks fast.
He's a
He's an
genius.
oddball. He's eccentric.
Yeah,
He's
the
an
world's
eccentric
better
figure.
for having him in it, but he's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude. And
Yeah.
this is him trying to be creepy and succeeding.
Yeah, here and for the rest of his time in the movie, he succeeds.
Yeah, well, he has that it is a kind of thing like he's trying to have like this whiny little boy quality almost, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's trying to be harmless. He's trying to seem like he's
trying
not
to
a threat.
sell the harmless,"
And it just makes it worse, which
insanely dangerous.
Honestly, he doesn't get enough credit for his actual acting. He's such a good writer and director.
I think so.
That I think his acting gets overlooked because
And that's
he's
what I'm
really
getting
good.
at here.
All the little parts that he does, he's great in.
I think this part especially, like he shows a lot of his range and ability.
Yeah.
Because he is like in so many of his movies, he's playing Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, like
and in this one,
Jimmy from Toluca Lake in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. In this one, he is playing a character.
Yeah.
He does an effective job. He sells it. He sells the shit out of it.
Yeah. Well, and we're not there yet, but there's a moment where it becomes clear that he sees and hears things that aren't really happening. And,
yeah,
I mean,
he is coming up soon.
He's not just an evil creep. He's fucking delusional.
Yeah, he's out of touch with. He's broken with reality. So yeah, we get a little creepy moment of him, and the bed is so small that like she can't help but kind of be snuggled up to him on the bed.
Yeah,
and she's just not like, this is not going to end well. So we cut from that to Jake Fuller and his kids in the diner, and they're kind of cheesy and cute. They're very they're a good little family. They've been marred by tragedy recently because Jacob's wife, their mother, has died.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob, who was a pastor, has lost his kind of faith. Not necessarily like belief, but faith.
Yeah. Well, the line is, his daughter asks him when the son is away, if he still believes in God, and he says he still believes. I still believe. I just don't know if I love him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. So he's kind of lost.
Yeah.
And they're going on a road trip in an RV.
Yeah.
To
and he's had the
Mexico.
good sense to leave his congregation because he knows he can't lead them anymore. He's not the guy that he was.
Yeah, exactly. He's not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
So that's fine, and it's clear that he's hurting, and his kids are kind of hurting too, but especially his daughter Kate, she feels for him, but like this is going to take time. They're kind of healing, and they're not going to get that time. So Jake says that he wants to spend one last night in a real bed, so they're going to go to a motel, despite the fact that they're traveling around in an RV. So then we get a news story about the Gecko brothers and their kind of path of chaos. And it turns out that Seth was actually in prison for another robbery. And Richie kind of broke him out of prison. And then they robbed a bank together, like immediately from breaking him out of prison. It's a kind of a wild time. And it's cute because we get that kind of Tarantino-esque news media coverage. Like where there's like a death toll ticker. Yeah. Where they're like counting off the number of deaths and stuff. It's very
very natural born killers.
Very natural born killers. Yeah. And then up pops John Saxon out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Johnny boy.
And he's not in the movie again after that. He's just there for
He's just a cop in pursuit of the Gecko brothers, and he looks good. He's got awesome. I love John Saxon.
I want to back up 1 second.
Sure.
Because the scene in the diner with the family.
Yes.
I just want to point out how great how much information is delivered and how efficiently.
Oh, yes.
You believe them as a family unit. You get their background, what they're doing, where they're going, and where they're all at mentally in just a few lines. And Tarantino's known for these big, long, really like letting his scenes breathe and having these big, long monologues.
And Jake Fuller has a little bit of that.
He does.
It's not full Tarantino dump.
It's not. You get everything you need to give a shit about these people.
Yeah. I kind of breezed through the description of like what we learned from that scene.
Yeah.
But that's the condensed version. Like all of that kind of comes out in very naturalistic dialogue.
Yeah.
And just the ebb and flow of the scene. It's like that's like I say, like the family, you buy the family very well. Like they're all kind of damaged because of what they're going through and stuff like that, but they're not quite dysfunctional.
No, they're getting along. I mean, they're
these are people who love each other.
They're all in as good a place as they can be, having just lost their mom.
Yes, with the dad being like slightly less. Maybe he's like a step behind in terms of that, but
he's still
it's
doing all the things he needs to do as a dad.
Yes.
He's not falling apart. He's just sort of having a crisis because of course he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a very good expositional scene that does not feel entirely expositional.
Yeah, it just doesn't drag anything down. It's a fun scene to watch, and it gives you everything you need to know, and it moves right on.
Yep. Absolutely. So then, after the news report, Seth comes back to the hotel with the aforementioned Kahuna Burrs,
yes.
Kahuna Burrs, and to find that Richie has raped and murdered the hostage.
Yes,
is the long and short of it. And it's a neat scene where like he comes in, he gives Richie a burger, he goes to give a burger to the hostage, and there's no hostage there to take the burger. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, where's the hostage? And he's like, oh, who? What?
Yeah. She's in there.
She's in there in the bedroom. He's like, why is she in the bedroom by herself? And he opens the door, and we get a shot of Seth, his face, as he surveys the scene, and we get little really fast flashes,
practically
of this,
subliminal.
Of like a horrible bloody scene. We don't see a whole hell of a lot of anything, but there's blood everywhere, and it's very clear that she's dead.
Yeah,
and she's been violated in many ways.
You know that if you freeze framed it, you'd see something awful.
Probably. But it's also one of those things where it's like, oh, we could have a bloody butcher scene and not actually invest a great deal of special effects stuff. We just throw a lot of KY syrup around.
Well, the later on when the spoiler alert, vampires attack.
Right.
Their blood's green because they were trying to get past the MPAA. So there also may have just been practical reasons to keep
tone down the...
Make
and
it more,
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works wonderfully well because the scene it turns into the scene focusing on Seth's frustration with Richie.
Yeah. Well, it also makes the, human on human violence this specific kind, like we opened with human on human violence and it was a spectacular explosive gunfight. But
Right.
this is creepy and awful and horrific.
And cruelty. Yeah.
And it's treated that way. And then moving on, we get comic book action for the rest of the movie.
Right. But it also gives us our flavor of just like why Richie's death is not going to be a great tragedy.
No, but it also puts that extra tension in with him and Juliet Lewis.
Yes.
Here
Like
very
he
shortly.
needs somebody, he needs to be kept on a leash.
Yeah.
Because he is dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's where we get the line that, Richie is a psycho. Seth is a professional thief who only kills people because he has to. But now we need new hostages. It's just the way, and we're going to need a way to get across the border because, our piece of shit car is obviously not going to do it.
Yeah.
And that is when Seth runs into Jake Fuller and his kids when they almost hit him driving into the motel parking lot. He's like, he kind of eyes up this RV full of an older guy and two kids, and he's like, that could work.
Yeah.
So just getting into to kind of kidnap the family and everything. He sends Richie in first to kind of
Get the door open
and stuff. And Richie somehow makes asking to borrow an ice bucket into a super creepy moment. It's vaguely lurid. So they get into the room and Seth then explains very patiently, like, this is what's happening. You're not going to be able to fight back against it. We could just kill you. I don't really fucking care if you live or die. But I'd rather not, and you'd rather not. So why don't we all just do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great, and that's I think that's when we have the moment with Richie when he hallucinates Kate asking him for sexual favors. Yes, which is bizarre, and it's and for no one more than for Kate, because
because she says nothing in real life.
And he's like, yeah, I can do that for you. So then we get into the RV. We're headed for the customs, for the customs checkpoint. And for the U.S. going into Mexico, this is the most intense border patrol I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, it's because they're looking for the geckos.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess that would be true. Okay, I take it back. So we get customs agent, which is Cheech Marin #1. And he's given Jake he's grilling Jake on who's going and where and whatnot. And the brothers hide in the bathroom with Kate.
Juliet Lewis.
Yeah. I think we get a bit before that. Is it before that we get the kind of Seth talking to Jake and stuff?
Yeah. They're up in the front and they're talking
and he's in the Seth is in the front talking to Jake and Richie's in the back watching the two kids. And Seth makes Richie put in like a mouth guard. So Richie apparently grinds his teeth. It's a wonderful little moment, and it is one of those other things. It's like it is one of those like child signifiers. I feel like for Richie, like, it's the whole time it's like
he needs a handler.
Yeah, and Seth sells it to Jake because Jake is not happy with them being there, of course, and he's looking for an opportunity to kind of get rid of the geckos and get his family away. And Seth explains it. He's like, look, if something happens, that guy could end up alone with your daughter. Do you want that? Like, that is this is the situation we're running into. I will make sure that does not happen as long as you don't fuck with me. And Jake is like, yeah, I guess I can agree to that because that guy's creepy as shit.
Yeah. He also says, if he touches her, I'll kill him. And Seth's like, yeah, that's fair. I would too.
Yeah. So the custom agent, Cheech Marin, comes in and wants to inspect everything. And Seth says something to Richie while they're hiding in the bathroom, calls him a dumbass or something like that.
Or a psycho.
And Richie
sets him off.
Yes, it kind of sets him off. He starts he starts jabbering at him, and he's getting pissed, and to the point where Seth just knocks him out.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, "Thank you." So when Cheech Marin looks in, he just sees Kate on the toilet.
Yeah, and she yells at him to get the
like,
fuck
"Hey,
out.
privacy!" And he takes an extra long time, still staring at her crotch as he closes the door, like it's a creepy ass fucking border agent. But they get across the border, and Seth could not be happier. Because that is the hard part, in theory, was just getting across the border. So Seth tells them they're all going to live because they did such a great job getting across the border. And he directs Jake to drive to a strip club / bar / brothel / I'm not sure.
/ truck stop. Yeah.
Truck stop. It's called the Titty Twister, which is the middle of fucking nowhere.
Temple.
Right? Middle of nowhere in the middle of the desert.
And you'll know it when you see it.
You will know when you see it, and goddamn do you ever. It's got a big neon sign up top, up front. It's hard to miss. At the door, Seth gets into a fight with the bouncer, which is Cheech Marin number 2. After we get the... Cheech Marin's pussy speech is amazing.
Yeah, it's legendary.
It's legendary.
He lists all the kinds of pussy they have and finishes it with the epic line, "If you can find cheaper pussy anywhere, fuck it."
It's tremendous. It's one of my favorite in the whole movie. It's he's really good. So in the
and he delivers that line directly into camera. It's the only fourth wall break in the whole movie.
Yeah, it's terrific.
And he leans straight into the camera and says, "Fuck it."
Yeah, that's tremendous. So when Cheech Marin gives him shit about not letting him in, like, "Hey, you guys are in the wrong place," Seth kind of just punches him and takes him down, and then Richie feels the need to kick him several times while he's down. So they go in, and the bartender is like, "I'm not serving you guys. This is a place for bikers and truck drivers. You are not bikers or truck drivers." And Seth starts to get really upset. And it's very clear, like, he's not a psycho like Richie is, but he is not at normal levels of anger management. Like,
he's dangerous and violent.
He's dangerous and violent. Like, and he will lose his temper and things will go south. And
but
it's
for
up
him,
to
you getting between him and the thing he wants.
Yes, and it's not violence for violence sake. It's not that he delights in violence. It's that
he's going to take the thing he wants, and he's going to fuck you up if you try to stop.
Right, and Jake has to kind of diffuse the situation by patiently explaining to the bartender, like, "I needed to get a Class 2 license in order to drive an RV.
Yep.
So technically, I'm a truck driver. So technically, I'm allowed to be here." And the truck driver and the bartender's like, "Good enough."
And how young does Danny Trejo look in this movie? Like, I was shocked because I've gotten so
almost
used
didn't
to
recognize him.
Yeah,
he's tremendous, and he's showing off all his own tattoos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He looks great.
Well, he looks he's wearing the same fucking costume that he was wearing in Desperado.
Yeah.
Just
He's
the leather
Trejo.
vest, no shirt. Like, that's just the Danny Trejo look.
That is. Got to show it off. So they go to so they get a bottle of whiskey, they get some shot glasses, they go to a table, and Seth just sort of evicts the people at the table and like gets the dancer off the table. There's just like topless dancers kind of gyrating everywhere.
Just scattered about
on the tables in different
alcoves. It's not really a strip club because they're not playing Cherry Pie by Warrant, but
right. But it kind of is. It's also kind of a brothel. It's not real clear.
Got Tito and the Tarantula up on the stage.
Sure. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. And we get, as they kind of sit and like soak in the ambiance of the Titty Twister, we get a couple of shots of other characters who are going to become important later. We get a little bit of Sex Machine, who is the guy that he's messing with the long hair. That's another effects guy. That's Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, well, this was one of like Greg Nicotero's
K&B.
First big things, really.
Yeah.
K&B doing the effects for this. And
he's the N in K&B.
Yeah.
Which I believe Kurtzman is the K, isn't he?
He might be, but now everybody would know Nicotero because without him, we'd have no Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah. No, he's the guru of Walking Dead.
And the Creep Show.
The Creep Show
revival.
series.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent stuff. He's one of those guys who likes making monsters. I love him.
Yeah. But he's a Pittsburgh guy, and he learned from Tom Savini. I mean,
Yes.
Tom Savini was his mentor.
That's awesome.
He was like in his 20s hanging out on the set of Creepshow in Pittsburgh with George Romero and Tom Savini.
That's so hardcore.
That's where he got going.
God. Oh, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I love Greg Nicotero.
Sex Machine reveals in a little moment with Sex Machine.
Yeah.
He's got a whip, which he's pretty good with.
Yeah.
He also has a dick gun.
Yes.
Which exactly how it's controlled, we don't know. And we don't want to know.
It makes no sense. The cylinders that the bullets are in don't actually seem to line up with the barrel, so that doesn't make any sense. But when he rips that leather away,
He does it.
It pops up, and
He doesn't rip it away. It just pops up on its own.
Oh, that's
and
true.
the gun
yeah.
pops up on its own.
Yeah.
Like it opens up, and this codpiece.
And that gun is in Antonio Banderas's guitar case in Desperado. If you look, when the fake guitar face pops up, it's one of the many guns in there. But I mean, Tom Savini alone is epic.
He is. He's tremendous.
I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, he is the guy that did the effects for Friday the 13th and Creepshow and Dawn of the Dead, and
he is so famous, so wonderful. He's an awesome dude. He's a Pittsburgh guy, and he loves Pittsburgh, and he stayed in Pittsburgh.
He's
opened
also
his
a
own
Fort
makeup store in
Bragg
Pittsburgh.
guy.
No shit.
When he was at Bragg he was in Nam, which is famously part of his backstory. All the violence that he saw there as a photographer really influenced his FX work. But when he was stationed at Bragg, he got heavily involved with a local theater. I know exactly what theater it is. I used to drive by it all the time when I was stationed there.
That's awesome.
He still goes down there and does stuff with them. But he's a certified stuntman. He actually is like a whip guy. Like he's been trained.
Oh, cool.
Like he does all of his own whip work in this movie. He does sword fighting. Well, we had that one teacher at AIP who said Tom Savini chased him around his house with a sword. For the life of me, I can't remember his name because it was 26 years ago. But our airbrushing instructor,
I know the guy you're talking about,
who helped with some of the stop motion on Evil Dead.
Yes,
had done something for Tom Savini, and when he went to his house, Savini chased him around with the sword.
I did briefly when I was working at Borders, because luckily when I was working at Borders, rest in peace Borders, it was the only bookstore technically in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
And after a while, it was the only movie store too, and other than like Hides, so a lot of famous people that came through Pittsburgh for one reason or another went through there. But Tom Savini obviously lives in Pittsburgh.
Of course,
he spends a good deal of his time here. And I did get to wait on Tom Savini at one point.
Oh wow!
He bought a stack of movies from us. It was quite a bit. And I didn't want to be that guy because he was just trying to buy some movies, and he had his family with him and everything. But I was like, oh, this movie, this guy's in it, and I really loved him in this thing. I heard this was good. And he's like, yeah, I can't wait to watch it and stuff. And he's very cool. He wasn't, unapproachable, not like don't talk to me or anything. Just sort of like doing his thing and everything. He was a very cool dude.
Yeah.
I've heard 1,000 stories about how nice he is.
Yeah. And we spotted him at Ides that one time when I was in Pittsburgh. We were up on the.
That's right.
We were up on
We
were up on the balcony level looking at movies, and he was looking at CDs. I think it was the first time I ever saw a celebrity in the wild.
Yeah, and he was just like, it was like.
We didn't talk to him. We didn't try to say anything to him. We were just like, "Oh, Tom Savini."
He had an air about him, like Superman in the Legion of Doom. You know what I mean? Like he had this furtive. He kept giving like these furtive glances, like he's in Ides, like a geek mecca.
Yeah.
Like to get out, man, get out fast, make your purchases, run. They're coming for you, sir.
But that's not fair because he's obviously the kind of person that would love Ides. Like he should be allowed to go there peacefully.
Yeah, great guy. Anyway, we get moments. He's playing Sex Machine. He's wonderful. And then we get a little bit of Frost, who is trying to just like stack dominoes, almost like a house of cards, and getting frustrated because a girl's dancing on his table and gyrating, and it is knocking over his dominoes. Anyway, and he's smoking a cigar. The end. So Jake, they sit down to drink and everything, and like they have this moment, like Jake won't drink with Seth because he doesn't want to. So Seth's like, okay, what about your kids? And
Yeah.
so Kate does a couple shots with him. His son Scott does a shot with him, and finally he does get Jake to take a shot with him. And they're kind of discussing everything. It's wonderful. And then everything's kind of going cool. They're all chilling out or whatever. And then everything has to stop because Satanica Pandemonium.
Satanica. Satanica Pandemonium.
Excuse fucking me. Selma Hayek is going to come out in a bikini and gyrate, motherfuckers.
Yes.
Pay attention.
With a snake.
With a snake.
She was definitely afraid of snakes and spent but she really wanted to do the part, so she did therapy, like intensive therapy for 2 months just to do this role. And they didn't choreograph anything because you can't choreograph a snake, so she just kind of had to make it work.
Yeah, and she pulls it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great sequence. She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like admittedly, Selma Hayek in a bikini erotic dancing with a snake. Yeah. That's pretty much a showstopper.
A lot of young men grew up when they saw this movie.
What a charming euphemism for
discovered
erections.
things about themselves.
Selma Hayek
in every direction. I'm sure there were young men who didn't feel a thing, and that taught them something about themselves as well.
It's a good scene. It's and not only that, but it's like there's a kind of hypnotic quality to it. Everybody's kind of very fascinated by her, and she ends up singling out Richie. And Tarantino definitely wrote this part for himself, because he ends up drinking booze. Like she pours booze down her leg and he drinks
shoves
it
her
off of
foot in his mouth.
So gross.
Yeah.
But he's into it.
Famously.
Then she spits booze into his mouth. And you get the feeling like, because she gives like a little nod to a person or whatever, you get the feeling like she's kind of choosing a victim. And it was the whole sequence, oddly enough, reminds me of the 80s movie Vamps, where Grace Jones plays a similarly like worshipped vampire who leads a small coven of vampires in a strip club.
Yeah.
Of course, she's Grace Jonesing it, so she's weird as fuck.
It's the only way she knew how.
Right. And it's the kind of thing where it's like each night she comes out and dances and picks a person to go backstage with her, and she's going to drain that person's blood and kill them and whatnot.
Right.
That's what this feels like to me. And she had chosen Richie, and she couldn't pick her a better person to murder, in my opinion.
No.
But as she finishes her act, we see the bartender talking to the bartender and then getting a third like heavy dude to come over, and they're talking about what Seth did and come over and like, hey, this guy cracked my rib and this dude kicked me while I was down. And,
I love the Clooney sees him coming and he's like, hey, Richie, back on the clock.
Yeah.
And Richie just immediately is like, how many are there?
Yeah. Like they know.
They're a good team.
They are a good team. They like when it comes to this sort of thing, like doing criminal acts, handling violence, because he's indulging Richie's violent nature, and that's good for Richie.
Yeah.
I don't ever doubt that Richie and Seth both care about each other immensely.
I think they're the only people that either of them care about.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so then, sorry, I lost my place. Okay.
So the bouncers come into
the bouncers coming, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, it reminds me of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like the first rule of Vegas is do not abuse the locals, and he has violated that rule. So Richie pulls a gun because he's Richie, and he gets a knife through the gunshot hole in his hand.
Yeah.
Which just causes blood to come pouring out.
Yeah.
And Seth shoots the heavy. Richie grabs the bartender.
Well, and the guy that Seth shoots is the one he was looking for an excuse to fuck up earlier.
Right.
It's the same guy that he was trying to get in a fight with until Harvey Keitel busted out his Class 2 license.
Right. He's the kind of bouncer dude. And so that's when he kind of like the Gecko brothers kind of feel like they've gotten control of the situation. I believe Richie grabs the knife, pulls the knife out of his own hand, and stabs the bartender
Danny
Danny
Trejo.
Trejo, and then sticks the knife back in the table. And it's once things have the action has kind of stopped and we have a second to kind of process, we
They're
realize
doing
that
their
the blood,
back to back with their guns out.
yeah,
like-
and we realize that the blood that's dripping down the knife from the bartender is green.
Uh-huh.
And Salma Hayek, since that knife went into Richie's hand, has been just fascinated by the sight of the blood.
Yeah.
In a very animalistic kind of way. And that's when we revealed that it is a vampire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
Now I had buddies that knew nothing of this movie, rented it, watched it, getting hammered drunk all the way through and thinking it was just like a Desperado Reservoir
Crime
Dogs
movie.
type of movie.
Action-y crime movie, sure.
And then it like
Vampires
fucked their whole lives up when all of a sudden it's a vampire movie.
I mean, the appearance of the titty twister, it's like, this is clearly like, there's giant stone snakes. Like, this is not.
Yeah, something bad's coming. But
something is happening and it's major and it's different. You know what I mean? Like, there's a twist coming.
But still, we talked about, how Abigail, back in the Abigail episode, how Abigail is a Dusk Till Dawn movie. It's a crime movie that turns out to be a vampire.
Yep. It's a hell of a left turn, but it is a left turn nonetheless. And this one, I think, happens even later in the movie. I think this is close to the halfway mark.
Well, because now it's pretty much just fighting vampires till the end. Like it's just like now it's just going.
Moves very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try.
Satanica Pandemonium.
Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek.
Transforms into this kind of
Satanica Pandemonium.
Snake hybrid creature thing.
Yeah, she gets very snaky headed.
Very snaky headed. Just to prove that she's a monster.
This is overall a pretty wild interpretation of vampires.
It's very specific.
You got a lot of classic shit. I mean, they've got all the standard holy water stakes, crosses, bats.
Sure.
But
they've also got these weird, like, animal hybrid form, like demon forms.
Yeah, the dog thing comes out of one of them later.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of the Buffy vampires turned up to 11.
Oh, yeah.
Is what it reminds me of.
Definitely in the faces, like that.
Yeah, it was like heavy brow work.
It may have been one of the. I don't know of a vampire movie. No, okay, Lost Boys did that too. Lost Boys had the. Never mind.
Yeah, but it was a cleaner look. This is more. It's K&B effects. It's creature effects. It's very distinctive. So Salma Hayek bites Richie, and Seth shoots her. But Richie dies anyway, and it is the best thing to happen in Seth's life for a long time.
Yeah.
But Seth is very sad. Then the bouncer, the bartender, pretty much every bar employee that they shot, or every bar employee, kind of like pops up and reveals that they are a vampire as well. It's kind of, and then it's like free for all on all of the bar patrons and everything. It's a giant. So they throw like a massive like wood bar on the door, and they start feeding on everybody. Seth and the Fuller family kind of fight back, along with Frost and Sex Machine, obviously. And they manage to actually kill most of the vampires using literally anything at hand. Kate at one point like pulls the cross necklace off of her neck and just shoves it down Cheech Marin's throat.
Yeah.
And he explodes. It melts him from within. We're using Frost overturns it, flips a table over, stakes 4 vampires, one on each little table leg.
Yeah. Pool cues get used pretty handily.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of a lot of gimmicky stuff, kind of gags of killing people and everything. And then they're kind of all standing around.
The dick gun gets used.
The dick gun gets used. Can't forget about the dick gun because they won't let us. It's also really impractical. Like the recoil would go right into your balls.
Oh God, it'd be terrible. It'd be
terrible.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was there's an 80s hair band. I want to say Poison, but I'm not sure if it was them. That they were known for onstage kind of antics and everything. And their lead singer, his latest thing that he came up with was a massive codpiece that at one point in the show would shoot fireworks and like pyrotechnics out. It was like he was ejaculating fire. And it worked in theory and everything in practice runs. The first time they went to actually use it on stage, I don't even think it was an actual show. It was just on stage at like a sound
like
check.
a rehearsal or something.
Yeah. Something went wrong. It exploded and launched him like 30 feet in the backwards. And as they picked him up to drag him to the hospital, he's like, if we played better music, I wouldn't have to do shit like this. Anywho, we kind of massacre everybody in the bar, and Salma Hayek has a great moment where she pins Seth down at George Clooney, and she's like, I'm gonna make you my slave, and your life is gonna be like licking dog shit off of my heels, like, welcome to a life of hell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think so, and puts a bullet in his gun, and it takes his aim from her to the chandelier above her, shoots the chandelier, it falls down, goes right through her heart, she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
They're all standing around like...
That's where he says the "no thanks, already had a wife" line.
Yeah, that's it, yes.
And Rodriguez didn't want to leave that in, but apparently the studio used it in the trailer, so he had to put it in the movie.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So then they're standing around kind of surveying the damage and the chaos, and they're like, hey, aren't these things supposed to like burn up or whatever? And then they all just burst into flames. All of the bodies burst into flames at once. They're like, okay. So Seth goes back to find Richie, and bid his fond farewell to Richie, and everyone else realizes that the band, who are vampires, when everybody else vamps out, all their instruments transform into like made of human body parts.
Yeah, that we don't need to worry about that.
It's weird. It's very silly. It's very cartoony.
It is.
And everybody realizes that the band is still playing.
Yeah.
And they kind of look over at the band like, hey, let's kill that shitty ass band. And the band's like, the band leader just says, fuck you. And they explode.
Yeah.
And are gone. Anyway, Seth bids a tearful goodbye to his brother. But then Richie awakens as a vampire and goes to attack him. And with a heavy heart, he has to put Richie down and give him, as he says, that the peace he never could give him in life.
Yeah.
And he does so. He stakes Richie. And again, this is for the best for Seth. This is the best thing that's happened to him in a long time. And then Richie may have been a liability. He was, but he was also Seth's brother. So it's very sad for him. And Seth wants to drink. And as he goes to the bar to kind of pour himself a drink, they hear a noise starts to build, and it's a swarm of bats surrounding the titty twister. And they can hear them beating against the windows and everything. It is an army out there of vampires. And Jake has to go to Seth and be like, look, this is not over. We need you sober because we are going to have to fight our way out of this. And that's when they realize that, hey, wait a second. Richie was bit, Richie turned. Everybody that they bit and killed is going to turn as well, which is when all the other bar patrons pop up and start attacking. So they have to focus on staking them. Kate has a great moment where there's like a guy who's down on the ground, and she goes to stake him. Like, her and Sex Machine are going around and like just taking out fallen people. There's staking bodies, and she goes to stake a guy, and she just like can't bring herself to do it until finally he vamps out on her, and she kind of has to, and she kind of stabs him over and over again. It's very cute.
I love how, like, again, Seth is the very practical, here's what's going to happen thing. And he's the first one to be like, I don't believe in vampires, but these are fucking vampires. So,
right. So what do we do? What do we know about vampires?
What do we know about vampires?
Like, I don't believe in vampires either, but like,
those are
confronted
vampires.
with this. Yeah.
But I'm fighting vampires now. So
as they go around staking people, Sex Machine gets bit and does the shitty zombie movie thing of covering it up and not telling anybody. I gets kind of bit on the arm.
Because he's so tough, he won't turn.
He's like, oh, shit. It's more of like this with this crazy, like, paranoia, like, did anybody see that? Like, like if nobody knows he got bit, maybe he won't turn. Like,
or
if he doesn't admit to it, then want to make it real.
Will turn and then be able to kill them.
Right. So they regroup to talk about plan their next move and everything. And we get a wonderful moment where, I don't believe in vampires, so what do we know about vampires? And then they're kind of talking about how this is a tough situation. And
now the vampires are weirdly soft.
Yeah, like the normal body
to...
is hard to, but like this, you could just put your hand through them and rip their head off if you hit them hard enough.
Yeah.
And talking about like it being a tough situation, and Frost starts to go into like a very elaborate Vietnam story, and it's wonderful because he's almost like he's on one side of the room, Sex Machine is on the other, and everybody is turned towards Frost and just patiently listening to his story of murdering Viet Cong.
Yeah, to his PTSD nightmare.
Yeah, it's a very cute moment. Well, Sex Machine is at the back, kind of like he starts hearing whispers and stuff of the vampires out there, and he starts changing, and he's trying to cover like one hand turns, so he covers it with the other hand, and then that hand turns, so he puts both hands behind his back, and he feels something in his mouth, and he like opens his mouth, he's got fangs, oh shit, like it's very cute trying to cover it up and everything. And like Scott, the son, kind of has a moment where he turns away from Frost and looks at him, and he's like, oh, you good? Okay, and turns back. Like nobody notices until finally Sex Machine pops up and sneaks up on Frost and bites him.
Yeah.
And then he attacks Jake, biting Jake as well.
And Frost being so pissed. Like
so pissed off.
Just so pissed off
because he knows what that indicates.
Just ready to fist fight a vampire over it.
And he grabs Sex Machine and throws him through one of the windows, which are boarded up. And it's like, dude, no, that was how we were keeping the vampire bats out. Vampire bat vampires, I guess. And the bat swarm starts pouring in around Frost as he transforms into a particularly
immediately he
turns.
Vampire. He gets bit, and 5 seconds later he's not just transformed, but like his traps are now up to his ears.
Yeah, it's very monstery.
Yeah.
Seth and the kids run to hide in a back room.
Yes.
And kind of barricade themselves in. Jake ends up behind the bar. And when he finally comes up from behind the bar, all the bats have turned into vampires, and the room is just like elbow to elbow filled with creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake goes back down, bandages his bite mark, and he makes a cross by putting a baseball bat kind of through the pump action handle of a shotgun back there.
Yeah.
To make a cross gun.
Well, because as his son pointed out, crosses are everywhere. Somebody's like, well, we don't have any crosses. He's like, what are you talking about? Crosses are everywhere. You put 2 sticks together.
Cross.
You got a cross.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
No.
It's
Peter Cushing did it all the time, Sex Machine points out.
Yeah. In the back room, Jake ends up using his cross shotgun to kind of make his way to that back room where Jake and the kids are.
Mm-hmm.
And they let him in, and he's very frank with them, like, I got bit, but until I change, we're gonna kick some ass.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, really, once shit went sideways, Jake and Seth are on the same page.
Yeah,
Jake is like, "Hey, we need you because we need badasses."
Good at violence. You're good at violence, man.
And they get in there, and Seth is like, "Did you get bit?" And Jake's like, "Yes, I did." And later, when Jake's like, "You got to kill me if I turn," Seth's like, "Yes, I'll do that."
Never had a problem with that.
And Seth's the one that gives him the speech about being a badass motherfucking servant of God. And
they're priming each other up. They're actually a pretty good duo.
Yeah, they're great. They're a way better team, actually, than him and Richie.
It's true.
He goes from like his partner being an evil like perv,
to sociopath,
to a family man preacher.
Yeah, well, and it's like Richie would encourage him towards violence. Jake is careful to prevent him from going that way.
Yeah,
it's true. He upgrades, for sure.
In fact, if anything, like Jake to Seth is like Seth to Richie.
Yes, that's a great analogy. Yeah. Welcome to your SAT prep.
In this essay, I will explain.
So in the back, the back room that they're in, it turns out, is all of the kind of crap that they've stolen off of truckers that they've murdered over the years.
Yeah.
So they start going through boxes, finding,
which I think is a great detail, because of course.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Why not? And it lets them so they have a kind of gearing up sequence montage. Scott gets a super soaker and condoms filled with holy water.
Yeah.
Kate finds a crossbow, like an automatic crossbow. And Jake, is that a jackhammer?
That Seth gets the jackhammer that he puts a stake in.
Yeah, sorry. He gets a jackhammer that he puts a stake into the end and notches crosses into his bullets. And And then just before they're about to go out and kind of make their final stand, Jacob makes his kids swear to him. Well, he makes everybody, but Seth doesn't count. Seth will do it no matter what. But he makes his kids swear to God that they will kill him when he turns. Which they're both kind of reluctant to do, but Scott's a little bit softer, a little bit easier to punch around. There's a great moment earlier when Sex Machine turns and he kind of he's fighting everybody and he knocks kind of everybody out. Or knocks them down, and the only one's left is Scott. And Scott kind of Scott's just like an indoor kid. Yeah. And he kind of puts his hands up, but it's so half-hearted. It's like, dude, you're so fucked.
Is this how you do fighting?
I guess it's you and me then. And then that's when Frost pops back up and is so pissed off, and Sex Machine kind of, without looking, just backhands Scott and knocks him down. But so that's what we're doing. So this is their last hurrah. So they go out the door and they're attacking. There's a standoffish moment where they're kind of menacing the vampires with their weapons and kind of everybody's sizing each other up. Until I think Scott might be the first one to throw a water balloon of holy water and kind of kick shit off. Seth gets jumped by Sex Machine, but ends up tearing Sex Machine's head off with his own whip. Yeah. Kate shoots, and then it's a great moment. He tears Sex Machine's head off. Sex Machine's head, you could probably punch their head off, right? If you hit him hard enough. So he does that to Sex Machine. Kate shoots the head with her crossbow and it explodes. And then a head comes out of the neck of Sex Machine's body, and it's this kind of giant, horrible mutant rat.
Yeah, a rat dog something.
Yeah, it's kind of halfway between the rodents of unusual size from Princess Bride and the final version of the werewolf from Ginger Snaps.
Yeah.
Massive hairless rat.
Something we skipped over way back when the vampire violence first started was Frost, the big dude that Clooney wanted to kill.
Yes.
Anyway, comes at Frost, and Frost does some 80s karate punch.
Yeah.
And snatches his heart out of his chest.
And then it doesn't kill him.
Yeah, until Sex Machine walks up and they're just kind of looking at him, and he bends over and picks a pencil up off of one of the waitress's trays that got dropped.
Sticks it
in the heart, and the dude bursts into flames. It's fucking great.
And then right after that, there's another moment where they're like, okay, we got to go back into it, and Frost just pulls the pencil out of the heart, throws the heart down, and just brandishes the pencil.
That's what he's using now.
That's what I got.
Yep.
It's very cute. Yeah, that's a good that's a great one. There's a lot of like I said, there's a lot of small kind of FX gags in this that are a lot of fun.
But they also just had a lot of fun with vampires and vampire tropes.
Exactly. So Frost ends up fighting Jake. Jake kills him by kind of shoving the barrel of the cross shotgun into Frost's stomach, and then he actually uses him to pump the shotgun as he kind of shoots the vampires on the other side of Frost, and then rips the shotgun up kind of through Frost's heart. And Frost has a moment where he kind of stays standing there in kind of Wile E. Coyote way, and then falls apart and dies. It's very cute. But then after he kills Frost, Jake turns and he bites his son Scott.
Yes.
Which is very sad. Scott then kills Jake with holy water and a pistol, but he gets swarmed by vampires and forcing his sister Kate to kill him.
Well, he tells her to.
Yeah, he asks her, he said, kill me, Kate. And when she does, she shoots him with one of her arrows, and he explodes, and it takes out all the vampires that were kind of swarming him and everything. So at least he has that. So now Seth and Kate are the only ones that are left, and they seem pretty doomed. Because they're pretty surrounded, but they're back to back. They're we're going to go down fighting. And she's even he's how many bullets you have left? She's I'm not sure, but it's not many. And she's do you want me to save the last two for us? And he's hell no, use them all on these people. I'm going to die good. And that's when the sun starts to rise, and all these little cracks in the windows and everything let in shafts of light and start hurting the vampires. And we hear Cheech Marin character number 3, Carlos, pounding on the door, and as calling for Seth, and Seth says, "Hey, break the door down, Carlos. We're in trouble." And Carlos does. And when he does, the sunlight streams in and hits a mirror disco ball on the ceiling. It's a silly moment because that disco ball was not there before. I don't care what anyone says. But it hits a mirror disco ball on the ceiling, and suddenly it's this spinning disco ball of death where these shafts of light are just hitting vampires and they're just exploding. And it's a crazy, crazy bunch of Gru as vampires just blow up everywhere. And, Carlos, of course, knows nothing of vampires because this is a world where nobody believes in vampires. It's not like, I've heard tales.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of our world. And then they walked into a bar and then vampires popped out and they just dealt with it as best they could. So Seth comes out and just knocks Carlos down because he picked a meeting place that was full of vampires. And Carlos is like, what are you talking about? How are there vampires? Vampires aren't real. He's like, what do you think was in there? And he's like, Carlos had never been to the place. It just seemed like the name of it was funny. So it seemed like it's open dusk till dawn. You wanted to meet at dawn. This seemed like a good place for you to chill.
It's a rowdy place, middle of nowhere, no cops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have our kind of epilogue. Seth gives Carlos, his cut. He does negotiate with him a little bit. To give him a smaller cut.
Well, everything pays off. Richie tells him he should negotiate. He ends up negotiating.
Yes.
Jake makes his son is the hardest one to get to swear that he'll kill him. He's the one that kills him.
Mm-hmm. So he hands a handful of cash to Kate and goodbyes her.
Yeah.
And,
apologizes for her family dying.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
She knows how to drive the RV and that the keys aren't in Jake's pocket.
Right. Yeah, good luck finding that. Also, he had a Class 2 license. She's going to have a hell of a time driving that thing out. She asks him if he wants some company in El Rey, and he tells her, go home.
Yeah.
It's a nice little moment where it's like, no.
He tells her he may be a bastard, but he's not a fucking bastard.
Yeah. And as he drives off, the camera changes and we get a wide shot of the back of the titty twister and reveal that the bar is actually just the top couple of levels of a half-buried Aztec ziggurat.
Yes.
Which makes perfect sense.
Is it just like bodies out there, or is that something else?
It's
just the temple. It's just the temple.
It's kind of just the temple, and there's like wrecked trucks and
that's
cars.
what it is. They
kind
run
of wreckage all at the bottom. It's kind of too big of a shot to see bodies.
Yeah,
because it's so huge and you're so far away.
It was the trucks. I don't know why I mixed that up in my head. I watched another movie recently that it's not worth really going into, but it was one of those 100 different haunted house movies where they're really killing people in the haunted house.
Uh-huh.
But there was a moment where the girl makes it out back and it's just like this giant pile of bodies down the side of a hill.
It's never been done better than the death pool in Abigail, in my opinion.
Oh, God, no.
But so, yeah, it's kind of like, and a lot of things kind of click into place. Like, if you look at like the crazy stone architecture of the build of the titty twister, it's like that's why, because it's the top of an Aztec temple. And it's literally buried, like halfway buried, like vertically, like the front half of the ziggurat is buried, and it's just a cliff face, and the back half of the ziggurat is sticking out. It's a neat little button on it.
Well, yeah, and it also means God knows what's down in the lower levels. Yeah.
It's cool, and the end. It's tremendous fun. Yeah. So that's the end of the movie. Sorry. It's very good. It's like we said, like it's an interesting action horror kind of hybrid movie. It's Robert Rodriguez, so the action is very well done.
And it's Tarantino, so it's the pacing and the dialogue are good.
Yeah,
and the characters are interesting,
and it moves very fast.
Yeah.
I was even writing notes for this. This is fewer pages than my notes usually take up.
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised by that. Yeah. So let's move on to sequelitis.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of detailed notes on this, but I have a bunch of ideas, and like we can try to work this out.
Okay.
On air. So it would take place now, because that's always my vision of it, is like somebody saying, hey, make a sequel to this right now. So it take place now, and I would want a reason for someone to investigate that particular ziggurat, that particular Mayan pyramid.
You mean like an archaeologist or like a
kind of all of it. What I really want is a group of criminals who know that there is something there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a stomping ground for an older, more ancient and powerful vampire that could be dwelling somewhere deep in the pyramid. Or possibly dwelling there with some kind of treasure, like the room filled with gold stuff, or some massive diamond or what the fuck ever. Some kind of Deus Ex Machina or not even Deus Ex Machina, a MacGuffin, some kind of MacGuffin that'll get us into the thing. And I wanted to like a criminal organization because my vision was that somebody would think that, first of all, they would think that since Seth kind of cleared out the titty twister, that maybe the treasure would be like open for taking.
Right.
And it would be interesting to see that, what kind of forms even older vampires, more ancient vampires might have. We're not really given an indication of how old the vampires are in it. It's possible that they've been around for several hundred years. But there's room to kind of play with that idea then and be like, well, this one has been here for like several thousand.
Well, yeah, and are we supposed to believe that they just took over this temple, or that it's been there since it was built? Like,
but because
there are
temple
sequels. Again,
right.
we're in the same situation we were in with Pumpkinhead, where there are a bunch of sequels in a TV show that I haven't watched. I know nothing of the extended Dusk Till Dawn universe.
The thing is that I looked a little bit into it, and none of the sequels seem to have any kind of real direct connection to the first one.
Yeah, I think they just more of the same. Just people show up at the
crime vampires in Mexico. And I want this one to be more of a direct. I was thinking of this as more of a direct sequel.
Right.
Where we draw as many lines as we can to kind of make that. And then blah, 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 blah. What else do I got? They would have to be prepared to go in and think of maybe they're just going to deal with what Gecko dealt with, but end up confronted by something more.
Mm-hmm.
And like also there's this whole thing of like, in my mind, sorry, what?
I was just thinking, basically do aliens, but it's vampires in this temple, and instead of Ripley, they go get Juliet Lewis because she's dealt with them before. They need her expertise.
That's not bad. In my mind, these people were maybe like Aztecs.
Yeah.
And they occupied the temple before because there is a kind of a snake theme that runs through most of their kind of bestial forms. And the temple has a snake theme. So that's kind of like, but there's still room for to be like, if there is a kind of like lord and master of this kind of vampire lair, they're not going to come up and be interacting with humans on the surface.
No.
So there's room for to potentially be something worse down below.
Well, and we don't know what the normal night looks like in that place.
That's true.
Like when they get all of these people, maybe they're taking them down and feeding them to something.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Or it could be something that's so ancient that like it doesn't have to feed that often.
Yeah.
It could even be it would be fun for a crime ring of vampires, a la Abigail, to build a team that also has like I was thinking maybe Gecko's grandchild. Like just to have like like somebody who would have grown up with stories about the vampires.
Yeah.
Because there is no way that Seth Gecko isn't hugely paranoid about vampires for the rest of his fucking days.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to teach his children's children all about the vampires of Mexico.
Yeah.
So like that somebody like Seth obviously is a bit of a loose cannon and everything. He's probably dead by now.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody in his family line who at least has some knowledge, got passed on some knowledge, would be useful.
Yeah.
And so, it would be trained in dealing with creatures of the night. But, I only have vague ideas. But I would like to see like, giant snakes would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I always have had this vision of like a Quetzalcoatl type figure, but instead of bird wings, bat wings.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. That's what I've got.
Mine was just a general idea that it would be sort of more into the, like, basically the place gets back up and running. Like all the vampires weren't there that night.
Sure.
Just, so the place just gets back to its normal business. There's obviously multiple Cheech Marins, so we get one of him again.
Yeah.
But basically it would be, it would start out kind of outlining how the cartels are aware of and steer clear of the titty twister.
Yeah.
And just let it be its thing. And as sort of a half-ass peace offering, if they happen to kill a truck driver that's moving product, that doesn't mean shit to them.
Right.
So they're going to give that back.
Right.
Like, there's, if they kill a guy and his truck's full of guns.
Yeah.
I don't need guns. I'm a vampire.
Yeah, it's not quite like a full kind of
it's not
symbiotic
a
relationship.
No, it's
they're
just
not gonna. Yeah, they're kind of cost doing business.
It's not worth it to either of them to really
Go
get
to
into
war.
it. Yeah. But the current cartel gets overrun by a younger, a much more violent and much more naive cartel, and basically gets completely upended and replaced. And
Right.
they want a piece of the titty twister.
Right.
So now we've got, in this situation, the vampires, the titty twister kind of end up being the people you root for, because now you've got all of these like various badass vampires just kicking the shit out of cartels.
Right.
And
then that new vicious cartel are werewolves.
Yes, and that's how every one of these is going to end now. Every single one. It's all vampires versus...
Okay, what else is there? Like, there can't be gillmen. Various werebeasts would be fun. Like, you could have like a were-jaguar.
Yeah.
Animals native to the area, the region, would be fun.
But also, once they start attacking, like the cartel starts to attack, by the end of it, yeah, sure, they've probably killed a bunch of them, but they've also turned a bunch of them. Right. And so instead of having this sort of weird coolness with the local cartel, well, fuck it. All the cartels are gone now. Let's just take that shit over too.
I guess we have to. Yeah.
Fuck the drugs and stuff. It's all human trafficking now because we eat people.
Right. Everything else is just a tool to get blood down our gullets.
Yeah. But
that's fun. Yeah.
It was basically my sequel is pretty much just an action movie with vampire violence.
Right.
Which was pretty much what I came up with for Abigail, too, now that I'm thinking about it.
There has to be something other than vampires versus werewolves. I don't know what. Maybe they could be mermen. I don't know.
Watch vampires come up against, like, a Lovecraftian cult and their fucking weird sea beasts.
That actually wouldn't be terrible. That would be interesting, because the vampires are so kind of visceral and kind of boots on the ground, to then have somebody who's, like, summoning dark entities, and it's like you slash them open and tentacles come flopping out at you.
Yeah.
And
what
the
happens?
Cartel is led by the King in Yellow.
Yeah, and what happens when the vampire gets infected with whatever it is that turns them into monsters?
Well, it's also a thing of like the vampires are very hard to kill, obviously, unless you use very specific means. But like if you kill the cultists, they become something worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like. So you have to kind of deal with them without kind of triggering that.
Yeah, and what if you turn them now that they've already been set to turn into a monster?
Right.
Then does it become a worse monster, the same monster, just a vampire?
Well, they also do this thing like as far as like, because there are a lot of vampire rules. There's some that are stated, but a lot of them that are kind of understood is the idea. And one of them is the idea that like once you turn, you are evil. You will try to kill people. You will try to bite people. Like that's part of the mythos of the vampires of this. Like, what does that look like? What does that mean? Like like we get Sex Machine getting those whispers, but is it an influence that you can fight off?
Yeah.
Or is it, is there a level of kind of like absolute mind control, like a la Sinners?
Mm-hmm. Well, Buffy actually made it very clean. It's because your soul is gone.
Yeah, and you're inhabited by a demon, which possesses your memories and your flesh, but not the essence of you.
And the only reason Angel is good is because he was cursed to have a soul, so that he'd have to like feel like shit about the 200 years of being the most badass vampire in the world.
Right. Which, I mean, they make little reference to like losing their soul and the vampires as demons and everything. But nothing is cemented. Obviously, the movie moves too fast to kind of have like a deep lore dump.
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't. How are we really going to explain the dog monster that comes out of Sex Machine?
It is a really weird moment.
It is. I feel like some part of it was like, hey, we need some fucked up shit to happen, and Greg Nicotero was like, I got something.
Yep.
Check this out.
Tom Savini was just like, I need something super fucked up to happen with my death.
Yeah.
It has to be notable.
And
Greg
Greg
Nicotero is
Nicotero
like-
did a sketch real fast and showed it to him, and Tom Savini high-fived him. It's like, fuck yeah.
Yep. That is, I guarantee you that's almost exactly what happened.
That's what happened.
Oh, man.
It was such a cool time, though. Like, this movie wouldn't come out today with any kind of success. And I mean, if this movie would come out today, but it would be straight to Netflix, straight to Prime.
Yes.
It would be buried in the new release recommendations on
Yes.
fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be as good because it wouldn't have the budget or the people involved. But the 90s, shit was happening with... I mean, Tarantino started a whole genre, really. There's Tarantino-esque.
Yeah.
Like, everything that came after him, like fucking 2 Days in the Valley, Gross Point Blank, all of it was trying to, like, lean into that Tarantino shit that was making so much money. And then Robert Rodriguez shows up with El Mariachi and then does Desperado as a sort of follow-up. It is a sequel, but it's...
Yeah.
Watching them back-to-back, they don't feel as much the same because different actors and everything.
Right,
Whatever.
right.
But he came in with all this style and everything, and Rodriguez is one of my favorites because he does it all himself. I mean,
Well-
he shoots, he edits, he does the score, he directs it, he writes a lot of them, and he wanted to be so independent that he just built his own studio in Austin. Like, if he wants to make a movie, he just goes next door and makes a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's awesome. He did something in terms of style and that it parallels with he did with action what Tarantino did with like dialogue.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has a flair. It's
And
exciting.
eccentric.
It pulls you in. It's eccentric.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I mean, Desperado,
yeah.
the other guitarists that show up to back him up with their like rigged like machine gun guitar cases and shit,
Yeah.
and Danny Trejo with his vest full of knives, like his whole thing is just throwing knives at people. Like, so much
Tremendous.
fun.
Oh God, yeah.
But it was a
It's-
great time, and then
yeah.
for these two to come together and make an action like Mexican werewolf crime movie or werewolf vampire crime movie.
Yeah. I got the werewolves in your head.
You did put the werewolves right in my head, but it's so bizarre that people of that caliber and a cast that good were in a movie like this that was written so well. If you
Yeah.
really just step back and look at the existence of Dusk Till Dawn, it's fucking crazy.
I
But-
mean, like this is like Selma Hayek. You get a pass on because I think this was her first major. Like this is one of her first major film roles. Like I think she was in
well,
Desperado. and-
Desperado, yeah.
yeah, but this made a bigger splash, I think, for her career than Desperado did because Desperado
Might have.
was even more indie than this was.
Yeah.
But like Harvey Keitel and George Clooney and Juliet Lewis and Quentin Tarantino, like, it's a really awesome cast.
It is. Well, and it's Clooney before he was as Clooney as he is now. Like, it was like straight off of ER. He was hot. He was a big deal. He was an A-lister, but
Right.
he hadn't really got his whole movie career going. This was early for him.
Yeah, no, yeah. He was still he was still capable of having like that edge and stuff to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I mean,
He's a
he
very
just
good actor.
carefully chooses his roles so he doesn't have to
Mhm.
utilize it as much.
Yeah.
But it's a great cast. A lot of fun. It's a good movie. It's weird to see this kind of, action horror is a weird place to kind of live because the fact that it's action makes it feel less horror, and the fact that it's
Yeah.
horror makes it feel less action. But there is a bridge between them, and this walks the line very well.
It does. And
Um,
if you do it right, the horror gives you an excuse to make the action a lot more entertaining. Like, it's
Yes,
because you're automatically upping the level. It's not just people getting shot. It's
right.
not just
the threat
a gun
level goes
fight.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ripping people apart. It's vampires
Losing
tearing
your
heads
soul
off.
and-
It's
yeah.
dog creatures coming out of headless bodies. It's
Such a-
whatever the hell you want to have happen.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a very chaotic movie. Like I said, like moves so fast, especially
Yeah.
once you get to the titty twister. It is boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
And we're out. Yeah. Great movie. Fun time.
It really is.
Really enjoyed it.
So much fun. I recommend it to anyone.
Yes.
It is a great party movie.
It is.
It's got that, desert vibe to it. So it doesn't ever land on my Halloween playlists
Mm.
because it doesn't It's a vampire movie that doesn't feel like Halloween to me. It feels like a Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez movie. It feels like an action movie more than anything else, or a crime movie.
Yeah.
But it's just so much fun. It's a party movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, it was.
Quality stuff. So what are we doing next, Chris?
Oh. Well, I guess we're going to figure this one out on air.
Yeah, we are. Right fucking now.
Well, we had an idea that we decided to push off a little bit at my request.
Okay.
So then we need to probably do something non-vampire.
Guess so. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Are we feeling supernatural monsters? Werewolves? Should we do The Howling?
I could do The Howling.
You want to do The Howling?
I could do The Howling, yeah. We haven't done a werewolf movie.
No, we haven't. The closest we've done is Trick or Treat, which has werewolves in it. Yeah. We haven't done a straight up werewolf movie yet.
Sweet. We will do that's next. 1981's The Howling.
Yes.
Starring Dee Wallace. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Actually, I'm psyched. I've got the DVD. It's been on my shelf forever, and I don't know the last time I watched The Howling. I am actually psyched now.
Sweet. And it's got a host of sequels that look like they had great covers at the video store.
Sure they did. If you had a good cover.
There's one of them that is a 1.8, Chris.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Have you Charles Band has a podcast where he interviews like horror movie people, just a lot of different people. He had Roger Corman on and Greg Nicotero and all sorts of people. But anyway, it's a good listen because of the people he has on, but also like apparently there was a period because he was, for anybody who doesn't know, Charles Band is Full Moon. They made Puppet Master, Ginger Dead Man, Blood Subspecies.
Yes.
The vampire series. Anyway, super low budget horror movies that profited tremendously in the 80s because of the VHS boom. They were pretty much like straight to the video store movies. And he would not greenlight a movie if there wasn't at least a good idea for the cover of the video and a good title. You didn't need a script, any of that. Like if it was a good title and a good cover that was going to grab people's attention, we can work out the movie. And they're still making movies. I really admire his, was him and Troma and Roger Corman are the three that I think of about with the 80s VHS boom that really jumped on it and took advantage and benefited from the need for content. But he currently he's making movies in like fucking Cincinnati now, Joe. Not because they were able to buy basically an old mansion for practically nothing and
that's awesome.
Just turn it into a studio where they're just cranking out like low budget horror movies, which I thought was fucking amazing. Like that's what I want to do. That's what I want us to do. Can we just buy a mansion and crank out horror movies?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Cool.
Well, I just got a mortgage approved for a house. It's your turn. You got to get the get the mansion.
Why don't we just say like most podcasts don't make it to 11 episodes? We just called the end of the podcast. We're like, well, fuck this. We're just gonna make movies. Forget it.
Yeah, fuck this.
Bye, podcast. Bye.
we gotta go write a script.
I gotta start searching Zillow.
Yeah. There's got to be a decrepit old like Pittsburgh mansion.
Right.
Just a leaky, dark, awful place that we can go make movies in.
Cool. So The Howling is up next. It's gonna be a good time.
It is.
Can't wait.
You've been Joe.
I have been Joe. You have been Chris.
I have. And this has been In the Veins.
Hello, goodbye.
See you next time.
There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
Be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
Plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
We've got to return some videotapes.